welcome back to Evil's Comics. This guy right here is Evil Mike, or Mike if you prefer, and I got a review for you today. From DC Comics under their black label, we're going to be talking about Batman City of Madness, issue number 1, or I should say book number 1. It is written, art, colors by Christian Ward, and then we got letters by Hassan, Otsmane-Elhaou. Before I get started on this review, please like, comment, subscribe on this guy's channel. I am trying to hit 1K eventually. It'd be nice. I'm getting closer to that 666 number. Hit that bell. You never know when I'm going to be dropping reviews. It's all free. Doesn't cost you anything. Alright, enough of that. So, we got this magazine size Batman book, right? And a really cool thing about this is it's not a normal size magazine style book, but it comes with a catch too. It's not its average price. It's at $6.99 instead of the $9. So I kind of like it. So it's a Batman book, right? And it basically starts out, it gives us a little prevalence. I want to say in the first page, it kind of gives us a reference for a timeline, but they're talking about the sinkhole. It could be the future in storyline that we got, from 2021. Don't quote me on this, but there's a couple different, time references. But another thing that doesn't fit is Alfred's still alive. The beginning of the book actually starts out with this kid catching a ticket to Gotham City. Basically, this guy being warned, and this kid being like, I can protect myself. I'm from Metropolis. I know about Gotham. But right after that, we get basically narration from Alfred. Now, this happens at the beginning and the end of the book, but it's basically Alfred saying, like, he feels bad for not being able to stay up all night while Batman's on patrol. He also goes into, like, he wished that he could talk to Bruce a lot more and, kind of talk about the day that his parents were murdered, and maybe if he would have talked to him a lot more, he wouldn't have lost Bruce to the Abyss. The Abyss is usually a common thing that's brought up with Batman. It's one of my favorite things about Batman. But that's kind of the gist about the whole, from Alfred that we get. We also get this scene here. It jumps over and we get this like robbery set up with Two-Face. Now it's actually stated this is the older version of Two-Face, but it's kind of ironic. During Detective Comics currently, Two-Face is kind of going through the same thing. He's being, it's Harvey and then Bad Harvey, but there's an Asmere that's a part of it. This one's kind of doing the same thing, where we got Harvey and Bad Harvey, and they're both coming together to, like, get Batman's help. Basically, they staged this whole event just so they could get Batman's attention. They had kidnapped all the, like, second sons from all the most famous celebrities out of Gotham or something like that. Their Two-Face gimmick. But basically, it was just to get his attention. Batman does show up. He actually, like, some of the goons step up, and there's some cool, like, that honestly reminds me of like a younger style Batman, because Batman is very vicious in this book, a lot like the Matt Reeves Batman. In particular, like when one of these guys steps up to take out Batman, one of Two-Face's goons, it doesn't go so good for this guy because he thinks he can take on Batman. He's fresh. He doesn't know Batman. Batman literally grabs this guy and starts breaking bones, and in his mind kind of stresses that it's all a stage thing, and the more bones of this guy he breaks, the less of the other guys he has to break. It's more an intimidation thing. I love that. I thought it was dope. But this is basically where Two-Face Harvey is asking Batman for help, and at this point Batman takes him to Arkham Asylum for him to get help. We get the scene right here with it's a business meeting, but basically they're talking about climate control. The beginning of the book opens up with a massive sinkhole that just took place in Gotham. We get this board of directors meeting, and this one, I guess, council. He is, talking about that recently below their building there has been another kind of, sinkhole event, and it's related to climate control. The board member, he kind of ends the meeting abruptly without giving that guy any kind of resolution, and the guy doesn't quit talking, and he's like, look, if our company doesn't take action to help fix this environmental damage that's going to cause damage to the neighborhood around us kind of thing, I'm going to go to the news, blah blah blah. So the head of the directors, he actually tells this guy to follow him. They go in the secret elevator that this guy's never mentioned. We see over here on the elevator signs that they're going pretty deep down. It says negative level 10. Not only that, but as they're going down, this guy gets stuck. He, like, with almost like a Joker buzzer, like, style something. At first I thought he just stunned him. Nope, this guy literally just killed this dude because he stabbed him with some kind of poison or something. And as he's going down, he's literally having seizures, and eventually he does die. We do find out that this board of directors dude, his name is like Thiadine, something like that. Don't quote me on the name. It's a rather weird spelling. But we find out that the board of directors is one of the major members of the Court of Owls. And he's going down here to find, to investigate this hole that guy was just talking about. And supposedly it wasn't like a climate control issue that destroyed somebody was actually trying to breach and get there, because lo and behold, down here they have some secret vault that has some creature inside this vault that the Court of Owls have been protecting. It's been locked up, and come to find out, one of the Court of Owl members himself has actually betrayed the Court of Owls and has opened the vault himself. He ends up killing a bunch of the Talons and other Court of Owl members, and commences to kill this dude, Thiadine, or whatever his name is, I don't know. But he doesn't eventually stab him, kill him. Well, he doesn't do it. His Talon kind of sneaks up, which that's kind of amused that he forgot that, they all have Talons. But yeah, the Talon sneaks up, stabs this guy, leaves him for dead, and he mentions that they need to lock the door before the creature gets out. That they do want to release this creature, but it's not time to, or something like that. The door's still open. They're trying to get the creature up there, and lo and behold, Batman shows up. And this is where it gets a little kind of crazy, because this Batman is extremely vicious. He shows up, throws a batarang at the Court of Owl dudes, and stabs his hand. Goes after Talon, eventually cuts off Talon's hand with a weapon we don't even see. Just straight slices off his, at the elbow. But at this time, the Talon was trying to rig a bomb to the vault for later departure. Like, they were going to barricade the door at that time. It goes off, and that's the end of that scene. We jump back over to our little, our boy that happened to come to Gotham for some unknown reason, and we get to find out the reason. He's there on a revenge trip. We get this whole touching story, and I do have to warn you, it does play close to current events, but it is a cop shooting that's just bad from the start. His dad is a shoemaker or something like that. He's going home from work. He gets stopped by these cops that happen to be in mask, in full-on Gotham mode, and they just ask him to stop. The guy kind of puts his hands up, and as he puts his hands up, the cops ends up shooting him. So we find out that this kid is like after the cop that ended up murdering his dad and went on the news and lied about it, saying his dad was some kind of criminal or something like that. His son was on the phone with his father when he got murdered, so he knows that his dad wasn't doing something nefarious. He was getting off of work. We get a scene here with Batman in his Batmobile. I will say it looks a lot like the Brave and the Bold Batmobile. But he's basically going to Arkham to check up on Harvey Dent. He recently dropped him off. We get some cool Arkham Asylum aesthetic. He runs into Mad Hatter, who preaches, it's time for, Batman to fall down the rabbit hole and come to the real world kind of thing. The book jumps over, and we have an excellent scene between Barbara Gordon and Alfred, and basically, Barbara asking if Alfred's okay, asking where Bruce is. Bruce is out on patrol. Of course, we know he's at Arkham. But Barbara is basically checking up on Alfred, and Alfred gives her this "I'm okay" thing, and Barbara kind of gives him this, hey, we've all been through trauma. I mean, I got shot by Joker, blah, blah, blah. Why can't we talk about this shit? And that's kind of where this leaves off. But we go back to Batman at Arkham, and he's talking to this doctor about a Harvey Dent's present situation, and we find out that Harvey's in a very sticky situation, because there's Bad Harvey, and now there looks like there's a new entity that's coming forth, and they're all trying to get Batman's help. That's why Harvey wanted to be locked up here in Arkham. The doctor tells him now that Harvey is in Arkham. There's something strange going on. For some reason, it's negatively affecting Harvey Dent, and for some reason, that other entity is coming out a lot more than it should be, kind of thing. We do get a conversation between Harvey and Batman. It's basically what I just kind of reiterated right there. The book jumps over, and we get this cool scene, you know, a spread of the bat symbol and stuff like that. But basically, Harvey mentioning symbols and stuff like that, and that this is the third entity is a sign of something bad coming. Something evil is what he tells Batman. Eventually, we get this scene right here because the kid he'd already found the cop that killed his dad and the crew that was with him, and sure enough, that cop recognized the kid and saw that he was staking him out and sent his boys to go, you know, find out what the kid is all about. The cops do show up in their mask that they did murder, you know, their dad in, and basically they ask him, "Hey, what you doing?" And the kid's like, "Hey, I'm here to kill that cop and y'all if y'all get in the way," kind of thing. There's this whole like laughing thing. They're about to, you know, eventually kill him because, as you can see here, they lunge at the kid. But before that can happen, Batman shows up and he just starts taking off these people one at a time. The fox that jumped at him, he gets dragged into some alley. You know, eventually it's down to one dude that gets left, and before he can shoot at Batman, the unthinkable, especially as a Batman fan, happens. Batman beheads this dude, costume head and all, just in front of this kid before the gun can even go and get fired off. We don't see what the weapon is that Batman uses to, you know, cut this dude's head off. But as the kid turns around to see Batman after he decapitated this dude, we get this image right here, and we see that it is not our regular Batman. It is a, you know, evil Cthulhu looking Batman, crazy ass shit, but he's eating that dude's head. We jump back over, and it's basically, you know, the Court of Owls, and it's this whole, you know, it's somebody waking up from something, but it's the Court of Owls talking about that they found out that one of their own betrayed the court and that they need to rectify the situation. I'm unclear who this is, but it looks like they are resurrecting, also building something, maybe a new Talon. Maybe this is that guy, Thiodine, I don't know, whatever his name is. But I'm unclear who this guy is, but it's supposed to be some secret weapon, something like that. But they also mentioned that they need to enlist the help of Batman to do something that they need to do, because they find out that the creature has escaped. And after these clues we got, we can guess what the creature is. The creature, the Cthulhu looking Batman thing. So we get the scene right here, and we get Batman, we get Harvey, and he's being woken up in the middle of the night, and it's by his third entity. They're both surprised, bad Harvey, regular Harvey. This Harvey explains that it's just it's both of them together, and it's just a different Harvey from a different angle. But basically, that they need to warn Batman that the evil Batman has kidnapped the kid, and he plans to make a Robin out of that boy. And they are titling this Batman as the Batman Below, is what they're calling him. And this is the last scene from the book. This Batman has wings. He is carrying that boy away to somewhere we don't know. But that is the end of book one. Man, if this book wasn't fantastic, the art, the story, everything. I love Batman's suit. It had this purplish blue aesthetic to it. I thought it was dope, especially for a first read. I highly, highly suggest you picking it up. I left a lot out of the book. I just touched on the major stuff. But that is my review for Batman City of Madness, issue number 1. It gets like a 10 out of 10 for me. That's all I can say. Alright guys, that's all I got for you. Let me know down below if you have read this. Did you pass it up? You know, what'd you think about it? I don't know. Let me know whatever you want to tell me. Alright guys. Bye.